Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you is going to wake you up. You've been dealing with toxic people all wrong. You think the answer is setting limits, cutting them off, staying away from them. That's weak. That's just trying to survive. I'm going to show you how to take back your power for real. Because let's be honest, these toxic people aren't going anywhere. You cut one out, another one shows up. You avoid them at work, but they're in your family. You think moving cities will help? Nope. Toxic people exist everywhere. So the smartest way to deal with them isn't about them. It's about you. Toxic people are like a virus, but a virus can only infect a weak body. You stop dealing with toxic people when you stop being open to their poison. When you become so strong and steady that their drama, their tricks, and their negativity don't even show up in your world. Toxic people have one weapon: your reaction. That's it. They don't have real power. They don't control your life. They can't actually do anything to you unless you let them into your mind. They live for the moment you snap, break down, or doubt yourself. They feed on your frustration, your anger, and your confusion. And the second you give them a reaction, they win. They will test you. They will say things just to get under your skin. They will push every button you have because they are hooked on control. They trick you. They make you feel guilty. They twist reality. They want you so emotional and flustered that you can't see the truth. They are powerless without your response. You need to understand this so deeply that it changes your brain. The moment you stop reacting, you become untouchable. The moment you stop giving them what they want, they lose all power over you. And the second they realize they can't shake you, they panic. Because without your reaction, they are nothing. You ever notice how toxic people keep pushing harder when you stay calm? That's because they're scrambling. They can feel their grip slipping. They insult you harder. They play dirtier. They throw bigger fits. But that's when you know you're winning. That's when you stay even calmer. You don't fight back. You don't explain yourself. You don't defend yourself to someone who wants to misunderstand you. Toxic people want chaos. They want drama. They want you caught up in their games. When you stay calm, when you refuse to take the bait, you force them to face the one thing they fear most: their own emptiness. They can't handle it. They need someone to fight, someone to prove something to, someone to trick. But when you refuse to play along, they are left alone with their own poison, and they hate it. You don't need to argue with them. You don't need to prove your point. You don't need to win them over. You win the second you stop letting them control how you feel. Your peace is your power. Your control over yourself is what makes you unstoppable. The strongest person in the room isn't the one yelling. It's the one who stays calm while everyone else loses their mind. Every time you react, you train them to keep going. You teach them that their tricks work. But the second you stop feeding the fire, it burns out. No fuel, no fire, no reaction, no control. They will try everything to get you to respond. Guilt, anger, pity, pushing your buttons. They will dig into your weak spots. They will say things meant to cut deep. But the moment you realize their words are just noise, you stop being affected. It's not about ignoring them. It's about mastering yourself. It's about understanding that their opinion means nothing. Their support means nothing. Their approval, their anger, their insults, their praise, it's all meaningless. The only thing that matters is what you decide to believe. The only thing that affects your life is what you give energy to. They don't make you feel anything. You allow yourself to feel it. They don't put you in a bad mood. You allow them to. And the moment you take back control of your feelings, you become something they can't handle. Untouchable. Most people spend their lives being puppets, letting toxic people pull their strings. One comment ruins their day. One argument throws them off track. One person's negativity drains all their energy. That's weakness. That's being a slave to other people's problems. That's letting outside forces control your inside world. But you're not weak. You're not here to be controlled. You're here to master yourself so deeply that no one can shake you. Imagine if nothing they said bothered you. Imagine if they couldn't upset you, no matter how hard they tried. Imagine if their insults bounced off you like nothing. That's real power. That's freedom. That's how you break free from toxic people. Not by cutting them off, not by avoiding them, but by becoming someone who is completely unaffected by them. They will try to break you, but only if you let them. They will try to make you doubt yourself, but only if you listen. They will try to make you feel small, but only if you believe them. But the second you decide that their words mean nothing, that their opinions mean nothing, that their approval is worthless, you win. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who cannot be controlled. And the way you become that person is simple. Never react. Never let them in. Never let their poison enter your system, because the moment you do, they own you. But when you don't, when you stay calm, when you refuse to play along, they lose all power and you take yours back forever. Toxic people don't deserve your energy. They don't deserve your explanations. They don't deserve your emotional investment. Every second you spend trying to fix them, trying to reason with them, trying to get them to understand your side, is a second you'll never get back. And the truth is, they already understand. They know exactly what they're doing. They just don't care. You keep thinking if you just explain it better, they'll finally get it. If you just show them enough love, they'll finally change. If you just put up with them a little longer, they'll finally treat you right. But they won't. They never will, because toxic people don't want solutions. They don't want peace. They don't want healthy relationships. They want control. They want power. They want you drained, tired, and questioning yourself. The hardest truth you'll ever accept is that some people are set on misunderstanding you. And no matter how many times you explain, no matter how much proof you give, no matter how reasonable you are, they will twist your words, play the victim, and make you out to be the problem. You could sit them down with clear evidence, and they would still find a way to twist the situation in their favor, because they don't want the truth. They want control over you, and the second you realize that, you stop wasting your energy. You stop arguing. You stop trying to change them. You stop expecting them to be someone they're not. You stop hoping that someday they'll wake up and realize what they've done, because that day isn't coming. They are exactly who they want to be, and they have no plan to change. That's why you have to cut off your energy supply, not just physically, but mentally. Because even if you stop contact, even if you distance yourself, if you're still thinking about them, still replaying conversations in your head, still wondering if you did something wrong, they still own a part of you, and that's exactly what they want. They don't need to be in your life to control you. If they're still living in your mind, they're still winning. The only way to beat them is to make them meaningless, not by blocking them, not by deleting their number, but by truly not caring anymore, by realizing that their opinion is worthless, by understanding that nothing they say or do actually matters, because the second you stop giving them energy, they lose all their power. They become just another background noise in your life, something you barely notice. You need to stop expecting closure, stop expecting an apology, stop expecting a moment where they finally admit they were wrong. It's not coming, and even if it did, it wouldn't change anything. Because an apology from someone who doesn't truly care is just another trick. They don't apologize because they mean it. They apologize because they want to keep you in their game. And every time you let them back in, you reset the cycle. You don't owe them a conversation. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them one last chance. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself freedom. You owe yourself a life without their chaos. And that starts the moment you stop feeding them your attention. Toxic people can't survive without an audience. They need someone to trick. They need someone to control. They need someone to react to them. The second you stop being that person, they start to fade. They lose their grip. They scramble. They lash out. They try harder to pull you back in. But if you stay firm, if you refuse to play along, they move on to someone else. Because here's the truth. These people don't target everyone. They don't treat everyone the way they treat you. They choose their victims carefully. They choose people who are caring, who are kind, who want to see the best in others. They choose people who are willing to give second chances, who don't want to seem like the bad guy, who struggle with letting go. That's why it's so hard for you to break free, because they've trained you to feel guilty for putting yourself first. But you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them your kindness. You don't owe them a space in your life just because of history or family ties or social pressure. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to let them go without guilt. And the moment you do, you'll realize something incredible. You never needed them. It was always them who needed you. Toxic people survive by making you believe that you can't live without them, that you need their approval, their support, their presence. They want you to think that leaving them means losing something valuable. But what are you really losing? The stress, the drama, the endless emotional exhaustion, the constant feeling of never being good enough. That's not a loss, that's a victory. You don't need their permission to move on. You don't need their approval to be free. You don't need to explain why you're done. The only thing you need to do is decide that their role in your story is over, that they no longer get access to your energy, that you are taking back every bit of space in your mind and heart that they once filled. When you stop feeding a fire, it burns out. When you stop feeding toxic people, they disappear. When you stop investing in their chaos, they lose all power over you. And when you finally take back your energy, you realize the truth. You were never trapped. You just needed to stop giving them the key. Toxic people think they've won. They think they've broken you. They think they've left a scar so deep that you'll never recover. They laugh at the pain they caused. They feed off the fact that you're still thinking about them, still angry, still hurt. They want to believe that they left a permanent mark on you. But what they don't realize is that every bit of suffering they put you through can become the exact thing that makes you unstoppable. The smartest thing you will ever do is take every insult, every betrayal, every trick, and turn it into fuel. Use it to sharpen yourself. Use it to build a life so powerful, so untouchable, that they become nothing but a small note in your success story. Because the truth is, toxic people don't break strong people. They create them. They wanted you weak. They wanted you doubting yourself. They wanted you stuck in a cycle of proving yourself to them. But now they don't matter. They are dust in your past. They are nothing compared to the future you're about to build. And that's what scares them, because the one thing they never wanted was for you to realize your own power. Toxic people don't choose weak victims. They go after people with potential, people with light, people who have something they lack. They see something in you, strength, toughness, kindness, drive, and they try to destroy it because your existence reminds them of what they are not. And when they fail to bring you down, when they see you rising, thriving, becoming something greater than they ever imagined, it burns them to the core. They wanted you broken. Instead, you became dangerous. The best revenge is not cutting them off. The best revenge is becoming someone they can never touch again. Someone so successful, so happy, so confident that their poison is a joke to you now. Someone who doesn't even flinch at their name. Someone who has outgrown them so completely that they don't even register in your world anymore. They thought they were teaching you a lesson by treating you like nothing. They thought they were winning by making you feel small. But what they didn't realize is that they were training you. They were sharpening you. They were handing you every lesson you needed to become the strongest version of yourself. And now every single thing they did to break you is the reason you're unstoppable. Let them talk. Let them watch. Let them sit in the same place while you outgrow everything they tried to use against you. Let them hear your name in rooms they will never enter. Let them see you become someone they never believed you could be. Let them choke on their own bitterness while you move so far ahead that they can't even reach you with their hate. They wanted you emotionally wrecked, questioning yourself, stuck in the past, but instead, you are using the fire they lit against you to build something unshakable. You are taking every bit of pain and turning it into success. You are proving not to them, but to yourself, that they never had real power over you. They will never admit it. But your success is their worst nightmare. Your ability to rise without them, to smile without them, to find happiness beyond their reach is the one thing they hoped would never happen. They wanted to be the main character in your story. They wanted to be the wound you could never heal from. But now they are nothing. Every time you level up, every time you win, every time you prove to yourself that you were always capable, you erase them a little more. Every time you choose peace over chaos, discipline over self-destruction, self-worth over their approval, you strip away the power they once had over you. They counted on you staying the same. They counted on you being too broken to move on. They counted on you never finding your strength, but they were wrong. And now you are someone they will never have access to again. Someone who doesn't even need revenge because success is enough. They don't get to steal any more of your time. They don't get to haunt your thoughts. They don't get to be the reason you hold back. Every moment spent thinking about them is a moment wasted on someone who was never worth it. Every time you let their words echo in your mind, you are giving them space they do not deserve. The best thing you will ever do is make them meaningless. The best thing you will ever do is live so well, so fully, so boldly, that they become nothing but a lesson you outgrew. Because the truth is, they were never your competition. They were just a distraction. Your real competition is the old you, the version of you that put up with them. The version of you that questioned your worth. The version of you that stayed too long in places that drained you. And every time you choose yourself, every time you level up, every time you refuse to shrink back into the person they tried to keep you as, you win. They wanted you broken. They wanted you doubting yourself. They wanted you believing that you weren't good enough. But now the only thing left for them to do is watch as you become everything they swore you couldn't be. And that is a level of revenge they will never recover from.